let's linger on Cam Ward a little bit because as soon as he got drafted, as you know, we were all looking at each other because he's walking down the hallway out of the green room to the stage, and we all got the message in our ears, Jacksonville's now on the clock. So, you know, our conversation about Cam Ward was maybe shorter than what it ordinarily would have been if there wasn't a massive trade for a massively talented, much talked about player in the draft being acquired at the time. You look at what Tennessee has put together, right, and already has there, and adding Tyler Lockett and adding more pieces in the draft and doing what they've done. What's the expectation level? Level set it for me for Cam Ward and Tennessee. DJ?
Well, first of all, Rich, we talked about him for 10 minutes before the pick because there was no mystery in who was going to be the pick. So,
Correct.
I mean, we went through and showed his highlights. I remember us, Charles and I having the discussion about Steve McNair and some of the skills that he had that were reminiscent of the great former quarterback of the Titans. So I feel like we had a good chat on him. Now we had to pivot once that trade went in, but I like the fact that they've tried to make this a little more friendly with some of the veteran offensive linemen that they added. I think they might have overpaid a little bit on Dan Moore, but it was an upgrade. They got better there, and then Zeitler comes in there, so that's a big, strong, sturdy guy that you can plug in. And then now you go into the draft and give him some other pieces to help him out. I think he's ready to go, Rich. I think you can get him on the field week one. I think he makes them competitive. I still think the roster is a little bit leaky and there's a lot more homework to do there. But one of the things I learned about him in talking to the folks at Miami was he is one of those guys who's never had a bad day. When they could lose 3 games in a row next year in Tennessee, they said he'll be smiling in the building. He'll be able to lift everybody up. One of the other nuggets was like every time their team turned the ball over, I think it was 13 times. Right after that, they had 7 touchdowns on the next drive and 3 field goals. So just a little microcosm example of somebody who's equipped to handle adversity. And you don't go from incarnate word to the first overall pick without being able to overcome some obstacles. So I'm excited for him. I wouldn't expect that this is a team that's going to be over 500 or be a playoff team this next year because of some of the roster limitations. But I think when you watch those matchups inside that division, talent-wise, he's going to be able to go throw for throw with C.J. Stroud and Trevor Lawrence, all those guys.
Before I go grab bag on you, the number I'll have you call your shot here, and I'll give you the same out I gave Breer yesterday when I asked him. If you're right, we'll mention it. If you're wrong, this conversation never happened.
Flush it. Yep.
Okay,
Yep.
we'll flush it.
It's my favorite type of conversation here.
We'll bury the tape. So the number of rookie quarterbacks from this class who will start in the upcoming season. Give me that number. Looking at the screen here, of all the drafted quarterbacks from Cam down to Ewers, what do you think?
Yep, I'm going to say we get Cam is going to start, so there's one. I'm going to say Tyler Shuck's going to start some games. That'll be 2. Which, by the way, almost kind of like even slips my mind about the Tyler Shuck one and the opportunity that he walked into. So he'll start some games. So that gives you 2. I'll say Milroe, no. Dylan Gabriel, no. I'll say Shedeur is a maybe as you go all the way down through there. So I'm going to put it at 2.5.
2.5. And that's the line. Do you take the under?
I'll take the over because weird things happen. One of these teams is going to get wiped out with injuries, and you're going to see one of these random guys start. It happens every year.
Catch the Rich Eisen Show live weekdays from 12 to 3 p.m. Eastern on Roku Sports Channel in the U.S.